welcome to Detroit Table Talk. Thank you for spending, just a few moments out of your Saturday afternoon with me. I am so excited to be back at the table. Listen, it was such a long break. It was such a long break, but I am back at the table and I am ready to have some great conversations with you. Today, we're going to be talking about relationships. Relationships. Some say you can't live with them and you can't live without them. Listen, every day of our life, we are involved or connected to relationships. So, I don't think you could get around, you know, living without, having a relationship with somebody, whether it's your significant other, whether it's, friends, family, whatever it is, relationships are important. And I think it's important because we are covenant people, and we are in relationship with God. So, you listen, we got to be in relationships with each other. So, we're going to be talking about relationships. Now, I must say, I have to stop and pause for the cause because I have a very special birthday shout out to my one of my associates, Alicia White Walker. Happy birthday, happy birthday. I hope that you enjoying your birthday weekend. I know that you are, and I know that your husband Victor is just showering you with much love, him and the children. So happy birthday to you. Also, happy birthday to Christian McBurrows. That is my sorority sister. She was my chapter president when I came into the sorority. I just want to say happy birthday to you and continue to have many, many more. Um, I got, you know, one of my Facebook friends stopped in and he is just the most hilarious person that I've ever met in my life. Ever met in my life. He know how to get some SHAT stuff started on Facebook. And he start early in the morning. He don't even give us time to get out the bed before he start. But we got Wayne Walker. He came in to look at the studio and to check us out and stuff like that. So he's here. I don't know. Wayne, you want to come over and just peek in and say what up, though? He, he ain't go- look like it's a task.
What's up, everybody? It's me, Wayne, in the house. Stop in for 2 seconds, to say what's up to Miss Troublemaker over here.
Listen, he got so much stuff he got to do today, but he just stopped in to check us out, and I am so appreciative. I'm trying to convince him to come aboard and be a guest host from time to time.
I have no problem with that.
I mean, he talk a lot of shit on Facebook.
Oh,
Come sit at the table.
it gets deeper.
Okay.
It gets deeper.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That's why he need to be at the table talking smack too.
I just stop in for a minute, and hopefully, I have me a seat right here one of these days, and we can get some great conversation started.
Oh, listen, you won't regret it. Thank you so much, Wayne.
You're welcome.
But today we're going to be talking about relationships. So I want you guys to chime in. I want you to like and share so that we can get everybody to chime in. You'll see the number on the screen. You can even call in, but don't be talking a whole lot of smack here, okay? But we got the best engineer, and everybody say that, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. But I got the best engineer, Rico, in the house, and Rico is gonna come on camera with me today. Y'all in for a treat. But Rico, he laid back. You know, he can get hype. I seen him get hype maybe once or twice, but he like one of them cool dudes. You know, ladies, he'll talk you out your panties. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, ladies. Probably not. I'm probably not playing. No, but he is so cool. He's such a cool guy. So, we're gonna get the conversation started. Of course, Rico is, perfecting some. I don't know what he perfecting because I look good. I sound good. We good, Rico. So listen, we're gonna talk about relationships. I am currently not in a relationship. I haven't been in a relationship in many, 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 many years. But it's by choice. It's by choice because I do have, and I'm not saying this to be funny or anything like that. I do have my pick. However, just because you have your pick don't mean that those picks are for you. Now, I'm looking for a quality person, somebody that I can build and grow with, someone that have a high level of respect for themselves and also me. Somebody who treats me like I'm supposed to be treated. I'm not taking anything less than the best. So when you see me pop up and show you with somebody, know that they're the best for me. So, um, yeah, and we all have our definitions on, what we want out of a relationship. And your what you want out of a relationship doesn't necessarily mean it's something that I would want out of a relationship. But you do what's best for you, and we're going to allow everybody else to do what's best for them because they the one that got to live with them. They the one got to, hang out with them. They got to, sleep with them. They got to cook, for them. They got to attend, to them. So listen, let people do them. I don't get in the midst of, people's relationships and telling them what's not, that's not. Now, if somebody asks me, be prepared to get my version of the truth. Just be prepared. I tell people, stop asking people for advice and then you get mad with the advice that they give you. Or stop asking people how they feel about something and then when they tell you, now you walking around with an attitude. Stop asking. Because I'm going to always be 100 with you. I'm never going to lie to you. I'm never going to sugarcoat anything. And I don't care if we besties. If you ask me my opinion, I'm going to be totally honest with you because character means everything, okay? Character means everything. So I am going to be totally open and honest with you. Now, if you say, Carmen, you seen such and such, what you think about him? I'm going to be like, girl, if you don't let that go. But at the end of the conversation, I'll be like, hey, if it floats your boat, do you. I love what you like. Okay? That's it. I love what you like. So I'm going to hype you up. Unless, let me get my straight face on. Unless he's being disrespectful, unless he's calling you out your name, unless he's cussing at you, or unless he's going upside your head. And then we got something to talk about. We need to find out why you allowing all this stuff to happen. You know, what's going on with you? Is your value of yourself that low that you would tolerate certain things in your life? And that's for men and women. I don't think men should tolerate any type of woman, just like I don't think a woman should tolerate any type of man. I think that we have to do, and we have to, I feel like this. The Bible tells us not to think of ourselves more highly than we ought to. But that doesn't say we shouldn't think of ourselves highly. So listen, do your thing. Do your thing. Don't dummy yourself down for anybody. And don't change who you are. That's what we got to learn. We can't change who we are when we get into these relationships. Be your authentic self. Because if you change it now, you will continue to change every time the wind blow. I don't like this. Now you're trying to change that. I don't like this. Then you're trying to change that. And then before you look it up, you don't even know yourself. Love and like people the way that they are. If they change, that's a blessing, for the better. But if they don't change, then you know what that person was about when you walked in. So let's kick this party off. Let's go to our first video, Rico. Y'all listen to this video, and then we're going to have a short discussion about it, okay? And then call in and type in the comment what you think. And if you are in a healthy relationship, call in and tell us about that too. We see so much mess. We need some positivity.
All my men gonna get mad at me because I know this is the way the world is. Don't no dating man lead you. Where you lead me? Do I have a ring? We can talk about stuff, but you don't lead me. There's this thing to be like, the man is the head of the household. No. The husband is the head of the household. The reason you don't want to compromise in dating because you don't want to compromise in marriage. What are we compromising? Could you give me a scenario? This is shocking because you see all the date naps and the balloon poppers tell you different. No, you're not led by nobody you dating. You got to figure out you don't even know how to separate your clean clothes and color clothes. Because here's the thing, you're trying to lead somebody that you're not spiritually responsible for. You need to follow my leadership. What have you built? What have you led? Where have you gone? And if you want me to follow your leadership, then you got to do some commitmentship. Well, I'm here with you. I ain't running the street, Sheila. No, brother, no. And then when I marry you, that don't mean I'm gonna do everything you say. Are you even a leader? Have you been trained in leadership? Your genitalia don't make you a leader. Your mentality does. This thing that I'm the man, I lead, you have to qualify to lead. I had to grow as a leader. I have a resume of leadership. Ladies, you don't just follow me because I'm no man. I've qualified to lead you. I've submitted to God. Well, the question is, who are you submitted to? If you want me to submit to your leadership, you need to submit to his lordship. No, we got this thing wrong. Kevin Samuels got y'all messed up. All my men gonna get mad at me because I know this.
Now, I must say, I totally agree with that message. I totally agree with some adjustments. I agree that the Bible tells me that the head of me is my husband. The Bible does not talk about the head of me being a man that I'm dating. I don't think that it's wise to follow every man that's in your life. You know, you would Peter this week, so you following Peter. And then next week you would John, so you following John. Every week is somebody different, you know, because y'all get in these relationships and it's like, I want to say it's like changing your underwear, but some of y'all may not change them often. So, but no, that's just, but no, some of y'all get in relationships every other week, every other month, you with somebody else. And, you know, if you're, you know, following this person, then you're following that person. I don't think that that's wise. Now, I'm not telling you that if you, you know, really are vibing with somebody, that he shouldn't be able to give you wisdom. You know, he shouldn't be able to, you know, speak over you. I'm not saying that that shouldn't happen. You know, because if you are with a true man, a real woman automatically falls, you know, in line. But it's not by demand. And it's not something that's pressed upon her. If that man is doing what he's supposed to do, it's easy to follow him. It's easy to follow him. A man that has to keep emphasizing, I'm the man, I'm the man. I lead, I lead. You know, you should submit, you should submit. Those are red flags. Those are red flags to me. I, those are red flags. I don't know. Rico, what you think about that?
Hopefully they can hear me good on here. As far as my vision and the way I view things, it's never gonna be the same as just like how everybody else see things.
Yeah.
Um, as a man, I feel like not even just a man, just as a human being, I've always been in positions of leadership, but it's not in a forceful way.
Okay.
It's just like certain things by the knowledge that I obtain and the things that I try to just reach out there for, I just always end up being in those positions. So if you a leader, especially if it comes natural, you're gonna always try to study and learn and be the best that you can be, and it's not gonna be forceful. So I've never been in a situation with a woman, I'm just like, I'm the leader, you need to listen to me, you need to do this or that, because as a leader, you also have to be a good follower or person who would listen too, because you have to know, like a leader, even at jobs, I've been in supervisor positions.
Yeah.
You also have to, certain people who best for whatever job, you have to point them in those directions
right.
to have them do things.
That's right.
So you have to be able to see all of the good qualities in the person who you're with, because it's really a help meet
Mm-hmm.
as far as it's a man and a woman. So it should be a balance, not just a forceful thing. Like,
Yeah.
so if you got to always screaming, I'm the man, you need to follow me, then evidently you're not doing something
It's like
right.
you're trying to prove it to yourself
Yeah, you're trying to prove it to yourself, or you're trying to command somebody. That's like you're
or
trying to
convince her.
devo somebody into that. So you have to do things to make that person feel comfortable. You have to build a sense of trust and all
Yeah.
that. So it's not a forceful thing. I believe a lot of people, a lot of men feel like just same thing. I got to shake your hand and show you all the strength in my hand.
Yeah, about to
Some
break your
people just
wrist.
feel like as a man, you just got to always show just strength.
Yeah.
Well, as you said, when you mention me, I'm just smooth, laid back. That's just my real
Yep.
character.
Yep.
But that don't mean when it's time to be strong or show
Right.
strength that I don't have it, especially if person know my life and the things that I've been through.
Yeah.
So it's all about, you have to look in yourself and have the knowledge of self and constantly learning. Every day you should be evolving and trying to grow, especially with letting God, the force of God, guide you. But you have to look inside of yourself and try to tap into that energy and stuff that God gives you.
Now, when we think about leading someone, um, someone said this to me some years ago, and it's always stayed in my mind when it comes to dating or being in a relationship. If he wants you to follow him and he wants to be the leader, as a woman, you should find out who's leading him. You know, in the natural and in the spirit. You know, in the spiritual. So every man should have someone that he's hooked up with, in my opinion, that mentors him, that he can go to and kind of run stuff by, or get some godly advice and stuff like that. If a man doesn't need anyone in his life, that's kind of a it's like a red flag to me.
I wouldn't necessarily say that, because it all depends on their understanding. Because the conversations that y'all have, not saying that you shouldn't have no concerns or questions about any of that, but the thing is learning the person's history.
Okay.
Like, where did you come from that led you to where you are now? So just because a person doesn't have a person who they have mentor them on a regular, especially like we grown, you know what I'm saying? You 40s, 50s and stuff like that. Who has mentored you and what have you learned up to this point?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that you don't continue to grow, and not saying that sometimes you don't go places, but it's like if you have a certain understanding of view of things, some of the things like what type of books do you read?
Mm-hmm.
What type of stuff do you feed your brain?
Mm-hmm.
So you can be mentored in those type of ways too. It's not necessarily
You
that I
don't
have to
think
go to pastor such and such to
But you don't think
tell
that
me
a man
this.
should have somebody that's over him that he can get wise counsel from? Because and most of our young men, and I ask this because most of our young men, not all, but most of our young men grew up without fathers. Now, if you had a household where your father was present, most of those men, will go and kick it with their dad. You know what I'm saying? Whether they go on, fishing and they just talking about life, or they doing projects together. So they have somebody to run something by. If you don't have a father, then, or your father was never in your life, what man do you look up to? That tells a lot about a man.
I don't feel, just me as a man personally, I don't
Okay.
feel that a man necessarily needs another man who can tell him this or that. It's
Okay.
good to have people who you can talk to
Yeah.
and bounce things off of. But at the same time, like my father was there, but he had his ups and downs, his
Okay.
stages where he went through drugs and his battles and stuff. And I didn't want to listen to anything he had to say during that time. I understood as I got older, because him and my mother did stay together.
Yeah.
He did end up retiring from Chrysler and stuff, but it was times where on the outside, our fronts was up.
Yeah.
We looked good, the happy family and all that, but they didn't know the dark things that went on sometimes or whatever. And how my mother had to bust her butt getting jobs and doing taxes and all this to replace some of them funds that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I believe all those things are learning experiences. So I have had good pastors in my life, Reverend Twyman, Pastor May. So there has been people since I was young that I had in my life that mentored me, I talked to, but I also studied a lot. I end up see like when you're raised from good stock, no
Yeah.
matter if it's your mother or your father, whoever, when it's about love, God is love and love is God. So you can turn to anybody who loves you. It's not necessarily a man or whatever all the time. Just like some of the most knowledge that I have gained about how to treat a woman was from a woman, not necessarily a man. See, I've learned from both. So it's like I believe that so I'm not saying when you're younger,
But
you
can a
shouldn't
woman really
have
direct you?
somebody. You say what?
Can a woman really direct you?
It depends on if it's about loving a woman, especially loving her. So like the stage where I'm talking about, it's like not saying that like somebody like me who've been through a lot.
Yeah.
I've been through a lot of things. I'll be 50 in October.
Okay.
So it's like I should be trying to teach and give somebody else the knowledge. Not saying that I still can't gain knowledge, but I don't feel it necessarily needs to be another man at this point who I need to be, okay, I need to talk to him. I don't know what decision to make. No.
Yeah.
If you learn yourself and you study and become one with God and allow that mindset of God to be inside of you, then I believe off of that and that love that you and that woman have together,
Okay.
y'all can bounce those things off of each other because it's y'all, what are your goals? Because what me and my woman is trying to do, or if I have a wife or something like that, whatever we're trying to build and accomplish is something that we're going to do together as a team.
Yeah.
So somebody else might be doing something totally different. But if we both turn to God and turn to one another and we build on that, let God be the foundation, not necessarily another man, but it's certain things that we see and we feed our mind. So it could be like if you go to church, not necessarily me and the pastor might not have had a personal discussion together, but if I went to church and visited church and it was a good message, that's still something that's feeding my mind. If it's something that I look at on TV, or if I look at a certain book, or looking at books dealing with like psychology and different stuff like that. So it all depends on what do you feed yourself on the daily. And I believe that has a lot to do. As I say, as a man thinketh, so he is. So if you're thinking and keeping that mindset and everything and following God and following nature and then just feeding yourself good things, I believe that brings about the type of balance. But there's nothing wrong with if you need somebody to talk to, just like some people need counseling and therapy, but some people don't. So I believe just everybody is just different. But I believe at some point of your life, you do need some positive things and stuff and people to talk to or whatever.
I don't think I would. This is just personally. I don't think I would ever get into a serious relationship with a man who is first not submitted to God and then submitted to someone that can correct him. You know, I
So
think
so let me ask you this.
Mhm.
So do you feel in the same way far as a man, do you feel like that women should have somebody who counsels them or whatever to teach them how to be a woman?
Yes. And I'm not necessarily saying a woman. When it comes to a woman, I think women have had a whole lot of misinformation, sown into them. I think that if a woman is not submitted to a man, and I think that it's important for a woman to have a healthy mother figure or someone that can kind of guide her, if so say for instance this, I'm not married. Eventually I want to get married. I don't think that none of my single friends can equip me to be married if they have never been married.
Yeah.
So I think that it's important for me to get up under an older woman, and we call them church mothers. that can, you know, share some stuff with me. Hey, daughter, this is how you do this. You got to keep a house. You got to cook. You got to clean. These young women, come on now. Women ain't telling other women that. They telling them, girl, that nigga, he can't pick him up nothing to eat. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I couldn't do it. That's just for me. So I think a woman should have a strong father, and if she didn't grow up with a father, a man who really looks at her as a daughter, not somebody that he can manipulate or anything like that, but someone who can really, say, hey, yeah, you're not going in the right direction. And I don't know, Rico, you looking at me like, what?
I'm just trying to fully understand, because it's
I think a woman should have somebody.
I understand what you're saying, but it's just like, my question would be like, to what degree, or what, like once you at a point in your life,
Mhm.
not saying that you can't talk to people, but I'm saying I don't feel like you necessarily just need, if it starts young,
Yeah.
in what you've learned,
Mhm.
and you're constantly growing,
Mhm.
and as you said, if you letting God be the center first, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Now, God can work through other people.
Mhm.
So there are times where God places people in your life.
Mhm.
But if you're using the greatest intelligence, and you know that you need that extra conversation, or you kind of know where to go,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But I don't feel it's just like you just necessarily, like, say, for instance, my grandfathers, they're deceased. My grandparents as a whole. My
Okay.
parents been deceased a long time.
Okay.
Say even when I was incarcerated before.
Mhm.
And it's like, I did have people who I can talk to and reach out to, but sometimes all I had is myself and God, and books and stuff like that to study. And you have to learn yourself, what put me in this position. And so, like, even with relationships, I feel like when you have real love,
Yeah.
and it's like, a lot of it is dealing with your foundation. What is your foundation? What is y'all standing on? What are y'all building y'all future on?
Mhm.
So the first thing would be God. And after that, far as like letting that mindset that was also in Christ Jesus be in you. So then you start to move.
Mhm.
God starts to move through you. So if you keep that in mind, and that real love, and it's like, I believe it's a choice.
Mhm.
So if I really love you and you really love me, and we really trying to have a beautiful relationship and grow, every decision that I make, I'm kind of going to bounce it off of my woman as well, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Even though if I'm the leader,
Mhm.
but I'm still going to bounce it off her,
Yeah.
because we in this together, and it might be something that she sees that I may not see. So you have to be careful
That's
with
wise.
even listening to other men, because can't nobody love me like my woman love me. Not this other man or anything. That's still a human being. He's a man. He needs guidance just like I need guidance. But not saying they can't give you good advice.
I think it's
You
important
know what I'm saying?
because sometimes somebody can see something clearer than you can outside of the relationship. Sometimes we're so tied into the relationship. Most people, not me at this point in my life, was back then. Most people have consummated the relationship.
Yeah.
So, meaning most people have slept together. So, when you start sleeping together and you start getting those soul ties, sometimes we are blind by the puss or the ping.
Yeah.
So sometimes the things that we would say, hey, we got to really have a discussion about this. We overlook it because he didn't put it down or she didn't put it down. Now, I'm just saying, for me, like, there was a time when I started dating someone and I was really getting serious with this dude. And I had not even had a conversation with my pastor at that moment, about the fella. I think the most that the conversation I had, and I don't know if it got back to him, we were discussing marriage. So in my church, my pastor won't marry you unless you go through marital counseling. So I went to the office and asked for the packet. You know what I'm saying? And when they give you the packet, they say you fill out one, he fill out one, and don't discuss the answers among yourselves until you come to the table. Now, and that's for, you know what I'm saying, to see how compatible you are with the answer that you got and the answer that he got. Now, I'm at home filling out the packet. He at home filling out the packet. We're not talking about it. And then out of the blue, I think it was like 12 or 12:30. My spiritual mom calls and say, "Hey, daughter," and I'm thinking something wrong because they never call me that late. Now, I was their armor bearer, so I kind of served them in a sense where if they needed me to do something, needed something done, they will call and say, "Hey, daughter, I need you to swing by, maybe I need you to swing by and pick up mom for Bible class because I'm going to be running late." Something like that. So I'll go pick her up from her house, bring her to church and stuff like that. Or, after service, can you go pick up dinner and bring it back to the house for us? So, when they call me that late at night, I'm thinking something serious happened.
Yeah.
So I pick up the phone and she said, "Hey, daughter." I said, "Hey, mom." I'm like, "Everything okay?" And she said, "Yeah, dad just came out of prayer and he said he needs to talk to you." So I'm like, "Well, what I do?" I thought I did something. I said, "What I do?" She said, "No, you didn't do anything." I said, "Well, mom, what does he want to talk to me about?" And she said, "Well, he'll talk to you. He wants to see you before Bible class on Wednesday." So I was like, "Okay." I said, "But mom, what is it?" And she said, "Well, he wants to talk to you about the young man that you're dating." So I'm like, "Oh, Lord." I said, "Okay." I said, "Okay." Get off the phone. That night, I go to sleep. I wake up like in a panic. I can't even remember what I was dreaming,
Yeah.
but I woke up and instantly it was like God said, two can't walk together unless they agree.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, what the heck is happening? I mean, the voice was so strong. So I'm like, what the heck is that? At the time I didn't even know that was in the Bible.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, what does that mean and stuff like that? So now I'm looking in the Bible dictionary, like trying to piece the words together. And that was in Amos. So I'm like, "Oh, Lord, okay. I don't really know what you're trying to say, Lord, but okay." First dad calls, now this, and I just going about my business. The next night, I go to sleep. I have a dream that I'm walking down the street and I hear a dog barking. I turn around to look to see where the dog was. The dog starts chasing me. So now I'm running. And I run, I'm running, but I'm looking back to see how far the dog is behind me. I run up on this porch and I get like halfway. It had to be like 8 steps. So I get halfway, maybe about the 4th or the 5th step. I turn around to see how far the dog was to make my move. The dog comes to the bottom step and then he transformed into a man. I said, "Now, whoa, what does this mean?" I didn't realize until later. Of course, I get to church and my pastor was saying, "Hey, daughter, I don't want to, alarm you or anything like that."
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, this young man that you're dating, I've never talked to him, I've never met him, but I'm telling you, God told me to tell you he is not your husband."
Yeah.
So I took what my pastor said. Now, did I walk away from the relationship at that moment? No. Because I'm like, but I love him. I really like him. So I heard what he said. I wasn't going to totally go by what he said. So I went on about my business. And then the next week, something happened. And I felt like, now, if you had paid attention to the person who at this moment watches over your soul, who prays for you, like he don't be involved in people relationship. But it turned out to be some crazy stuff that was going on with him that God was trying to forewarn me about. So I'm saying that to say sometimes we don't think clear because we tied in. But sometimes somebody on the outside who's really praying for us, I'm not talking about some silly women or some silly man that don't want you to be together because they jealous because they don't have what y'all have or anything like that. I'm talking about somebody who really authentically want you to be with somebody and is praying for you guys. I didn't even know my
Yeah,
pastor was praying.
that's still a little bit different though than what you were saying. Um, because what you initially was saying, not to say that it don't tie in. You initially was saying that it's like you would look to like it before you get serious with somebody, far as marriage and stuff. You would kind of see who's counseling him.
Yes.
But to me, it's not always about like counseling. It's like if you're looking at who they surround themselves with.
That would say not necessarily counseling, but like you said, surround
It's
themselves.
like
Yep.
even what type of friends do
Yep.
he be with? What type of crowd is he hanging with?
Yes.
If he used to be from the streets, did he change?
Yes.
What is he trying to do to give back to the community?
Yes.
So it's different things that you have to look at.
If he
far
telling
as
me he
men
loved me,
and
but he
women.
hanging out with a whole lot of hoes,
Yeah, so
I'ma look at that.
You do have to watch certain things, and it's like in cases like that, even if your spiritual father didn't, that's really their job, period. Any father or brother or whatever, we're going to be overprotective and we're going to pay attention. But sometimes even if we hear things or see things or see something in that person's character, then we might not be able to put our finger on it fully. We're going to let you know.
Yeah.
So that seed was kind of planted when you first got the call, and some of the things you probably already was kind of, especially if you're going to step into marrying somebody, like everything is heightened at that point or whatever. So I do believe you should surround yourself with the right type of people, because like say I'm your friend, and it's like, and even though I'm a guy and you're a woman, if I'm your friend, I still want the best for you. So if I see something that's not right, it could be the guy is moving a certain way, or it could be the guy seems good, like a good guy, but you as my friend moving a certain way. I also supposed to let you know about that.
Absolutely.
That's just about the friendship, the connection, the bond. So it's about who you. So in
But that
a
goes
sense,
back to
I
just
believe
relationships.
everybody around you somewhat of your immediate circle should we should counsel to each other in certain ways when we see certain things, not just with relationships, but everything, even though we talking about relationships, but just as a whole, whoever has your best interest,
I believe that,
at heart.
wholeheartedly.
So I wouldn't just point it out to just like, okay, well, they have to be this person, a pastor or this or that, because
not necessarily a pastor. It could be, like you said, my brother. It could be my male friend that can be, watching how dude move and he ain't said nothing. He like dude, you know what I'm saying? But because he my friend and he know me and he know my value, he might be like, hey, I need to have some, word with you. Now I don't want you to go back and say nothing to homeboy, because you my friend, but I just want to let you know I ain't feeling that.
Yeah, and it's about the mindset of that person too, because it's a lot of old fools. When they used to call themselves, I'm trying to breathe on you, tell you something, it's like, you a clown though.
I ain't never heard that one before. They trying to breathe on you?
Yeah, that's what they mean. I'm trying to give you knowledge. I'm just trying to breathe on you. You know what I'm saying? Trying to give you knowledge.
Heard of that.
But if you looking at their character and how they move, it's like, you a fool. So why would I follow you?
Yeah.
That's just like some people.
The blind lead the blind.
We come from that generation where it's like, where not to say that it didn't always exist in certain ways, but we came from that generation where the sack chasing was big. It's like mother made them sack chasers.
Yes.
Some people's mothers was sicking them on the drug dealer because he had the money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of some people trying to raise you to go for the man of God or the doctor or the lawyer or somebody. Some people mothers was sicking them on the drug dealer because he had the money.
Oh, I know quite a few.
So it's like you got to look at the mindset of the person. And so it's not always about age or whatever, but it's about the mindset of the person and the type of people that you have around you who can be some type of influence. And even if they're not an influence on you, like say you could feed people with a long-handled spoon, like I love you, I care about you, you my family, but I can only mess with you when we have family events and stuff like that or whatever. You have to, you like, so that's why I say your immediate circle, the people who you deal with on a regular, who you talk to, who you have conversations with.
Yeah.
If this your girlfriend, is she really your girlfriend? If it's like, if you're doing something that could be wrong or
Yeah.
looking at something the wrong way, even though she has your best interest, so it's not just a yes girl or a yes
Yeah.
guy who just
Yeah.
agreeing with
I
everything.
would
We have to
never-
be able to point that out.
I would never have all yes people around me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you grow. I don't think you're challenged. I don't think you allow yourself to be stretched past the people who have become so familiar with you that they don't call you on a carpet for anything. Everything is like, yes, master, yes, master. Not saying,
Yeah.
that, but that's just the way for me, I look at it. Let's go into the next video to see what they have to say about relationships.
Think just because you respect, you're honoring. But you can respect and not honor. Your parent tells you, don't smoke cigarettes. In their presence, because you respect them, you won't smoke cigarettes. But when they leave, you smoke cigarettes. You know why? Because you respected them, but you didn't honor their word. If you honored them, watch, honor is not about placement or proximity. Honor is about positioning. When I position my parents' word in a certain place, they don't have to be here to police my actions. My position and conviction of where I place them causes me to behave a certain way because of the honor that I have for them, not just the respect that I have for them. Because I can respect you and still dishonor you.
Wow, that was kind of deep. That was kind of deep. I think that when you talk about relationships, a lot of times we respect each other, but we don't go as far as honoring each other. I think that it's easy for me to say I respect you as a man, but I think when you start talking about I honor you, there are different things that connects to that honor. If I'm in your presence or if I'm not in your presence, I'm going to honor you for who you are. I'm going to speak highly of you. I'm going to do things that I probably wouldn't do for the regular guy that I would do for you. Just like going back to what we first started off by saying, when it comes to leadership and submitting or allowing that man to take lead, if I honor him, I don't have an issue. Me just respecting him is one thing. I respect a lot of men that are in my life, but those are not everybody have the same level of honor. I have male friends in my life, and if they say, Carmen, I need you to do this, or Carmen, I need you, I don't go back and forth with them. I say, okay, or because I honor them as a man, I honor them for, who they are. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What you think?
I believe, like, I understand what he was saying in the video.
You can have one without the other.
And not to say that I don't agree with him. I just believe when it comes, like the example he gave was great, because he was talking about far as with the parents.
Yeah.
But I believe it slightly goes up a notch when you're dealing with respect and honor when you're dealing with a relationship.
Yes.
Because it's like you may respect your parents, so it's like, for example, when I like growing up, I was listening, then I used to DJ too, so it's like listening to like Too Short, Luke, all that type of stuff. If I'm with my friends at a party, then it's on point.
Okay.
But if I'm around, still to this day, if I'm around, if I was around my parents, or that's why I hate DJing like weddings.
Because you got to watch
stuff
what
like
you.
that, because I don't mind watching it, but you have other people, like say somebody getting married and they in their 20s or they in their 30s. they want
They
to
don't
hear
care.
they want to hear the cussing music. They
Yeah.
asking you to hear this stuff, but you
Yeah.
got little kids over here playing.
Mhm.
You got elderly people over here. I don't feel comfortable playing that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna play the kid music. Even when I DJ for kids and stuff like that, they want to dance off all this other stuff. A lot of times I would play the non-cussing version,
Mhm.
or some parts just the topics of the song. I might just play a little bit of it, and it'd be mainly a loop or something.
Just so you can
Because
scratch it
I
in
don't,
and then go
yeah,
to something
because
else.
I don't really want to. I don't like that. It makes me feel uncomfortable or
Yeah.
whatever. That's just me.
Mhm.
So I automatically have a certain amount of respect. But when it's saying honor, he was basically saying what I was getting. You don't always honor their word. Like if they saying you shouldn't do this or don't do this, you might do it behind their back
Mhm.
or whatever. But in their face, you respect them, so you're not gonna disrespect them by doing it right in front of them. But behind their back, you're gonna do
So that's
whatever.
not truly honoring somebody. To me,
You know?
that's not honoring my spouse. If I say, okay, if my spouse say, well, I don't really like that you sit on the phone with dude. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing if he calling you about business, but you sitting on the phone 30 and 45 minutes talking to homeboy. Matter of fact, when I was engaged, my fiance at the time
Yeah.
had an issue with me having a conversation with a guy. Now, granted, we were going out to dinner. I was already ready. I was waiting for him to get dressed. So when he called me, I took the call. I just sat there and was talking to him because he's getting ready.
Yeah.
We're talking about
This is
church.
the difference, though.
We're talking about, wait a minute. We're talking about church.
Yeah.
So after the conversation, he said, I don't like that. So the respect comes in, then I won't do it. Now, to me, if I really honored him, I don't care if he's in my presence or if I'm behind his back. If I honored him or if I honor him, I'm not going to do it in his face or behind his back. I'm not going to wait till he's not around and say, well, he won't be home for work for 3 hours. I got about 45 minutes to kick it with you. No, because I honor, the words that he spoke over me.
Yeah. This is where the difference comes in at, though. Not saying that you're wrong. You're right. But I believe in a relationship it's extra on an extra level. Not saying that the relationship is just so much more important than what the parents say, but it's a difference. When you dealing with parents and you dealing with them telling you stuff, it's a lot of stuff our parents told us, and then we still make our own choices.
Yeah.
But we already know. I respect them. I ain't gonna do it in their household. When I'm outside, I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna respect them or whatever. I make sure everybody else respect them. But it's a difference when it comes to a relationship. The difference is the honor and the respect part are still the same, but the respect goes even further in a relationship. Because if you honor me or not, you can't truly be respecting me if you doing it behind my back, far as on a relationship.
I think we both saying the same thing.
I'm to a degree, but I'm talking about what the video, what he was saying. I'm saying it's a difference. It's what I'm saying is like you can respect your parents because you're respecting their household. You're not doing certain things in front of them. You just like I said at a party, I respect people, so I'm not gonna play certain type of music in front of certain people. That's just me. But when I ain't around, I'm in my car, I'm at this party, I'm playing this around the grown folks. I'm doing that. So the difference is what I'm saying is, far as in a relationship, certain stuff that you shouldn't be doing and you wouldn't do in front of them their face,
Don't be doing it behind their back.
and you still disrespect you. If you fully respect them, you gonna still not do it anyway if they're not around. So I'm saying the level of respect goes longer because the connection you're disrespecting, like you're not just disrespecting.
Okay, so you
your
saying the
relationship
respect
with
goes
your
longer,
parent,
and
like,
I'm saying honor goes further.
yeah.
So I think
what
we
I'm
on-
saying,
okay.
just in a relationship, you should have both. But I'm saying if you honor and respect your relationship, so if we take the honor out the way for a second,
Okay.
that's important too. But if we just dealing with respect on the definition and the way he was explaining it, if I don't play this music in front of my parents or don't smoke in front of them, I'm respecting them. So I'm not doing it in front of them. But when I'm not around them, I'm grown. I can do what I want to do. So it's not like I'm just disrespecting my parents as a whole because I might be disrespecting my own body if I'm continuing to smoke, but
Yeah.
I'm not disrespecting them because I'm still smoking and choosing what I'm doing with my own body. But when you're in a relationship with a man and a woman, y'all are together.
So
Y'all supposed to
depending on
build
if you're
together.
with
So
somebody,
if you
their
still
words hold a
doing
lot of more
certain
weight.
stuff, so if you're doing like
Okay.
if you're not talking to, if I'm not talking to women in certain type of ways in front of my woman because I respect her.
Mm-hmm.
So I respect my woman, so I ain't gonna do this.
Okay.
If my woman not around, if I still do it, take the honor out for a minute.
You still not respecting me.
Yeah, you still being disrespectful. You
Because I'm a
disrespect
woman.
the relationship
Yeah.
because you still doing something that can hinder the relationship
Yeah.
that you wouldn't, if she was around, she wouldn't like that. So it's still disrespectful. So you have to have that honor and respect. And part of the honor in the relationship is you putting your woman on a pedestal, you holding her up high. You're not gonna let nobody or anything. Part of the honor that goes hand in hand with the respect is that it's like, if you're supposed to respect and protect your woman,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like you supposed to even protect her from yourself.
Yeah.
So why would you be doing stuff to hurt her? So it's like it's a decision and things that you have to make. So it's like it's kind of intertwined and they go together, but just different from the video. If you're doing it in their face, but then behind their back, you hollering at every woman with a big booty or something like that, you still disrespectful.
Why she gotta have a big booty?
That's just
Why
an
she couldn't have a
example.
cute smile? No.
Even if she got a cute smile, she could just be super intelligent because that's a turn on too. You know what I'm saying? But you still disrespecting the relationship. And it's
Yeah.
like with me, especially at this point in my life, it's like I'm really not just like the person out there just, hey baby, chasing people anyway. But it's like the way that I move, and if I'm in a relationship, once I start to, go there with somebody, get in a relationship, a lot of stuff that I might have done at one time, or a little flirting and stuff, you're not gonna have to ask me to not do that.
Now, is that
I'm just
before
gonna
or
stop.
after the sex?
With me it's before. If I'm taking you serious and I'm into you, then it's certain things it's just gonna start dropping off. I'm just gonna stop because I'm into you. All of my focus and energy is going towards
But
you.
that doesn't mean it's gonna be like that in the beginning. Because in the beginning, you
if I
still
first-
trying
if
to
I
figure
first-
her
If I
out.
first meet you
Mm-hmm.
and then we talking, or I could have been known you or whatever. Something it
Yeah.
depends. But it's like, say the first date or something like that. I ain't gonna just say if I still had a sexual partner who
Yeah.
wasn't my woman.
You ain't gonna give her up.
But I ain't gonna just be the first date. I ain't messing with her no more. But if I'm really into you, my energy is starting to go to you, and in my mind, be like, okay, I really like her. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? And then it's like certain other stuff, I'm just gonna start to naturally cut that off anyway, because I don't want to do anything that's gonna hinder the progress of what me and you trying to do. If I really want you, I'm gonna go hard for mine.
So let me ask you a question, and I really thought about this. Do you think that a man and a woman should spend a certain amount of time where they become celibate, in the sense where, say for instance, okay, you go out with a young lady and you like her, but you still got this, homegirl on the side because you just not meeting her, so you don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah.
But then, like you say, maybe the second or third day, you like, dang, I kind of really dig her, so I'm gonna kind of let her go. But you still have her inside your system, so it still can hinder the relationship.
Yeah, it depends on the person, depends on the situation.
So do you think that you should not have sex at least 6 months before? I mean, not 6 months, because some of you men can't do it. So I'm not even going to throw that number out there. What if it's even like a couple of weeks, a month,
I wouldn't have a problem. I wouldn't have a problem doing it.
to cleanse yourself, to go
I
through a
wouldn't have a
cleansing
problem
process?
doing it. Because I have done it. I've actually been in a relationship with somebody, and it was like, it wasn't like for no years or nothing, but it was somebody I knew, and we was in a relationship for a while, and it's like we actually never had sex. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we was
At
talking
all?
about, I would say after maybe, I don't know exactly because it was a long time ago, but I would say at some point of the relationship, we did like do some physical things, but we never went all the way.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like we had agreed that we're not going to go all the way until we decide to get married.
Okay.
and we was going to church together. And
Now, how does
all
that
that
work
type of
out?
stuff.
I just want to know, how does that work out? Because how you getting me to a point and then we both supposed to just shut it off? Like,
Yeah. Well,
how does that work?
for one, there's things that was going on in our lives during the time. She had went through a divorce. I was out of whatever relationship that I was in. We knew each other since we were children.
No, no, no,
like,
no. What I'm saying is,
You
how
saying
do
when
you?
you just cut off sex?
No, yeah. I'm like, okay.
That's
And
what
what
I'm
if
saying.
it's oral sex? If y'all just having oral sex with each other, how do you just have oral sex and then once you finish with that, we ain't finishing the job?
Well, if you doing it right, you are.
No, we ain't finishing the job.
If
That's just one piece of it,
Yeah, but what I'm
or
saying
one
is,
of many pieces
what
of
I'm
it.
saying is, in your mind,
Okay.
if y'all already done made y'all minds up that we're gonna wait till we get married and y'all taking each other serious or whatever, what I'm
Ooh,
saying
that's
is,
fire in your bosom.
like, far as the oral sex, because that's
Yeah.
really what it was
Yeah.
or whatever. But it's like, if it's everybody's situation is different. Some people have a certain part they want to save for themselves. But one thing for most men,
Yeah.
um, they not gonna be mad at a relationship like that. If I'm getting oral sex and it's like to completion, you're actually making me,
Yeah.
have an orgasm.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be mad at that, especially if it's for the reasons why you're choosing to not go all the way. You know what I'm saying?
So, what I'm saying is, if you're doing that, that's huge. If you're doing
I'm
that,
saying, how do you have the discipline not to go
Yeah.
all the way? Because
or if you're doing that, why not just go all the way?
like far as me as a man, it's like that was the compromise.
Okay.
She the one wanted to wait to marriage, but if I'm really into you, I don't mind waiting to marriage because I'm not just super hard up like that anyway. You know
Not
what I'm
literally,
saying? Now
guys.
once we cross that you know what I'm saying, that threshold.
What threshold? You didn't cross it. Y'all
No,
giving each other oral.
what I'm saying though, that was the compromise on our behalf. It's
Okay.
like okay, we dating, we kicking it.
No, I
maybe,
get it.
Maybe about a year or so or
Yeah.
something like that. But we also knew each other since we were children. We sung in the choir together and all this type of stuff.
And
We
that
knew
didn't
each
even
other,
save
we knew
y'all,
each
huh?
other parents and different stuff. So we dated for a while before even doing that part. But it's like at some times, and we're because we were like going to Bible study, church together. She didn't even live in the city. So it was like I would
Oh.
work, and then during the weekend on Fridays, I would drive all the way out there. But even sometimes I would go all the way out there on a weekday, um, just to pick her up and drive all the way to the city to our old church to go to like Bible study and stuff like that, and then drive all the way back out there where she lived at, and then I would spend a night there and then go to work from there. So it's like, if you really into somebody and you really trying to build, I believe you would do stuff just like long distance
Mm-mm.
relationships or whatever. So it depends on
Mm-mm.
the people.
For me,
Yeah,
no.
that's what I'm saying. It
If
depends
I'm really
on
into
the
you
people.
and we do that, oh, we just go ahead
It
and go
depends.
cross that
It
line.
depends on but
That's just me.
it's like
So that's why I
this.
don't even tote that line, because I just don't see I don't want to play
Yeah.
those type of games. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I'm
why I
too
say
grown for that.
everybody is different. So
Yeah.
that was the compromise.
Man, y'all strong.
That was the compromise on, like, so as long as she feel like she's satisfying me in that type of way, and I was cool with it, that I ain't gonna be out here lurking and this or that, even though I respected our situation, so I wouldn't have been doing it anyway. But that was a compromise, something that we came up with to at least meet in the middle ground, and that worked for us. You know what I'm saying? At some point, though, it's like at some point
What we doing here?
after a few things, no, I was cool with it, but at some point I wasn't cool with it, and we can say that for another
Yeah.
topic of table talk. But it's some things that I had found out about
Okay.
during the process that now it brought me to, like, and you chosen to wait when it comes to me, like, so it's like, so that's
Okay.
where some conflict end up coming in, at where I wasn't okay with it no more, because I'm like, nah, So it's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but that's a deep discussion, the whole thing.
Woo!
But
But you know,
at the end
it's
of
but
the day,
me
it
and
just
say,
shows my character. When I'm dealing with somebody and I'm really into somebody and I really feel like we can build and accomplish something, I don't mind going the extra mile. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done it in a few relationships. Not that same thing, but I'm just saying I've catered to different things in different people's lives or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I've met some guys in the last couple of months, and some of the conversations that have been had is because I'm straight up front with guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to waste their time, and I'm not going to allow them to waste my time. So I would tell them, hey, if you looking for any kind of intimacy that goes past, you know, the natural physical touch,
Yeah.
I'm not her. You know,
Yeah.
I don't care how much money you try to spend. I don't care all the good things you're telling my ear. I probably have heard them before, just not from you. It's not going to happen. So I don't want to mislead you.
Yeah.
I don't want to mislead you. And I think that mm, I've had men to say, you know, to me, why are you making me wait and you have children? Like, my children are like 32 and 33. It ain't like they like 1 and 2, you know, or 6 months and a year, you know what I'm saying? Where, you know, it's been some years. So
Yeah.
it's like, well, why would you make me wait? You didn't make him wait. And it's like, why are you comparing to yourself to somebody who you don't even know, have never been introduced to? I just find that a little weird. And I've heard it in the last couple of months
I don't find it
for
weird.
a couple of
I
men.
feel like that's already a sign that that person is not for you,
Yeah.
because it goes back to the respect level. It's like, if I, like, with me, I'm gonna respect you as a woman.
Mhm.
If this, and either I like honesty and I like you to be upfront with me.
Mhm.
If this what you tell me that you want, then I have a right to respect that, or just be like, okay, I'm cool on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit up here, um, not in that type of way. Well, you did it with him, not like that. Now, as far as having conversations that lead to how you got to the point of wanting to be that way,
Yeah.
we can have those conversations. But you could have, like, it could have been, not saying you, but it
Mhm.
could have been somebody in they past. They might have been like promiscuous,
Mhm.
but got to a point of their life because of that, or something tragic could have happened, or they could have just turned their life over to God and made that change.
Yeah.
If a man really desires you and wants you, he should respect
I was never
that.
promiscuous.
You know, he should respect that. So
It wasn't
it's
like
not
a
all about,
change, you
yeah,
know, for me in the word. I was never a
yeah.
promiscuous person.
It could be just how you
Yeah.
carry yourself,
Mhm.
period, as a whole, and you
Mhm.
don't want to be out there like that. And
Yeah.
then you could have also learned, so not even being promiscuous. So, to my understanding, you've been engaged before but never married, right? So you never been married, but you have children.
Yes.
So it's like you learn, you evolve, you grow.
Mhm.
You already done that. You've been there, done that. So
Yeah.
it might be someplace else where you're at now that you want to do, with your life. When I was young, I used to smoke cigars and drink 40 ounces. Would you see me drinking a 40 ounce now?
No.
No. So it's like you grow, you change, you
Yeah.
evolve, or whatever. You not as far as curious, or being, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
the slick talk into it, or the fear of losing this person or whatever. You're at a point in your life now that you like, this is what I want. I'm standing on
Yeah.
that. The person that's for me, that God has for me, they're going to be good with that. And
Yeah.
we're going to grow,
Yeah.
and we're going to learn each other, and we're going to build. And once it start getting to that level where y'all feel it naturally happen, that's bringing y'all together,
Mhm.
then y'all know that y'all need to start talking about how do y'all make this work, far as going towards
Mhm.
marriage and stuff like that.
Insanity is
That's
doing
part
the
of the
same
conversations
thing,
you building up to.
expecting different results. And it's amazing to me how, as grown people, as grown as we are, and when I say as grown as we are, I'm talking anywhere between our, our 30s and our 40s and up. If you still making the same mistakes that you made when you were in your teens and your 20s, it concerns me that there is not growth. It concerns me that you're stuck in a place or an error and you haven't learned from your mistakes. So when I sit back and I listen to these guys spit game at me, and I'm not looking at all guys like they're spitting game, because I'm not going into it like, okay, here go another joker finna sit here. No, I'm going into it with an open heart, an open mind. But as I'm sitting and I'm listening to them, sometimes I sit like pretty much like you said earlier, this is an old fool. Yeah. Like some of the stuff that come out this person's mouth, you still trying to go and hang out at the club every weekend? Every time you call me, you talking about you want to meet up at the club and get a drink? Ain't nothing wholesome ain't in my eyesight. It's always something that is totally opposite of what I represent. I listen to that kind of stuff because I feel like I've already told you who I am, and hopefully you've already watched me prior to coming and asking me out. And everything that I stand for, everything that you want to do is the total opposite. It's almost like you're trying to set me up or trying to put me in a position where I have to compromise who I am. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Let's see what the next video says. Hey, everybody in the chat.
Significant other to be submissive. Ooh. She tells him that's an outdated way of thinking. Who's right? And explain.
I mean, personally, I think a woman, she's either submissive or she's not. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because if a woman isn't submissive, her becoming submissive is a process within itself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mind. However, I think that having a conversation in general is already tough. You try to tell your woman, like, yo, like be more submissive. And maybe she don't know how to be that. And maybe it'll bring that out of her to be that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's I
definitely agree. I think you gotta, like you said, work through the process. You can't say, I want you to be submissive, and then that day you expect her to wait on you hand and foot. I went extreme, sorry. Okay. I'm just saying. You had to be exact. She was ready to go my head. You know what I mean? Said what?
Exactly. What?
But now I think you gotta give her time to grow into that. You gotta give her the things that she needs to become that. Like absolutely. A woman might make, like, I need you to make me feel secure for me to be submissive. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to work through. I'm a good man. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, so if anything, it's a conversation at least. Yeah.
It's a conversation.
It should be like, so like, I'm a woman. If a guy says that, maybe he said it in the wrong way. Mm-hmm. Then, in the conversation piece, like, well, babe, like I love you, but you don't. What you do, how we are, doesn't put me to a submissive place. If you want this out of me, this is what that may look like.
Right.
X, Y, and Z.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't happen a lot of times in relationships that people are not having vulnerable conversation from a place of where their hurt is or where their hurt lies versus then where their ego is taking over.
Right. Because I feel if a man is leading, as a woman, because I've been a wife before, I will fall into line, and it's not a thing to be submissive. It's not a thing to submit. That's what I'm built for. Yeah. That's what I'm made for.
You want a whole man in your life who can provide, keep, and protect, right? So here's the question. How can you have one when you get up every day trying to be the best man you can be?
No. I hope y'all are ready to call me or pick me in the comments. But I'm going to speak from a perspective that's going to help y'all out here. Okay. Because this is the problem that I have. Stop hearing from your emotional ears and actually hear what's being said. I understand that the word choice was probably poor. But what he is saying is there are certain characteristics, certain behaviors that a woman may display. We just had a woman that was just talking about being alpha. Let me hit that first. Stop telling people that you alpha, because I don't think y'all understand what that personality actually really is and what it comes with. Okay. Alpha is not you just being strong. You're being resistant. You're not collaborative when it comes to conflict. You have low perspective taking. So when we have conversations like this, if we want to actually stop the damn gender war, and excuse me if I get passionate, we have to be able to hear both sides right now. If there is a woman, because I deal with couples all the time and I see this, and this is a big problem, and this is why men don't speak on it because they can't be heard on this. If you have a woman who is in a male-dominated field and she has to use most of her masculine traits, sometimes it is hard to turn it off at home. Even if she's not in a relationship, even in her own home, sometimes it's hard to turn it off. I deal with lawyers, I deal with women who are in analytical spaces all the time. And because their brains are still going, when they even get in their own space, they don't get to actually resonate in their feminine energy, as we always talk about. They don't get to pull up their feminine traits because they're constantly having to go. They're not practicing mindfulness and stuff like that. So when they do get into a relationship, it becomes something that is so ingrained. It becomes a default mode that they go in. And if you don't understand default modes and default strategies, you won't understand this conversation. There are some women who do go into these defaults and it automatically turns on. It's not on purpose. A lot of it is unconscious. Yes, I may say to myself, I want a man who can allow me to be feminine and provide this space. But if I am always in default mode, even if this man comes, I may still resist him. If I'm constantly having to be my masculine in work and stuff like that in home, and I haven't learned how to turn it off, he's going to face the masculine side of me. Let's be real about this. Let me add my last piece. If y'all actually want, because I come from a very healthy side, so y'all please excuse me. If you actually want to see, we always talk about helping the Black community. If you are wanting to actually see us grow and stop this damn gender war, be able to listen and stop being so emotional. Turn off the fact that you're hearing certain words and just listen for a second. We hear women use certain word choices. We don't check them.
No.
So, oh, so the first thing that they were saying about the is the word submissive, outdated or antiquated. I think if you are a woman and you hear another woman say something like that, that's not somebody you should, to me, in my opinion, you should ever take advice from. That means that she's trying to walk into a role that she was never designed to walk in. I don't know why that word submissive scares women so much. It's like soon as you say submissive, it's like they put on such a defensive attitude or a guard, and it's on and popping. From that point on, they hear nothing what you say after that. Rico?
I believe it's like, it's kind of a gap in the generation a little bit. But I know some people may beg to differ because you have some older people who may feel the same way and act like that also. But a lot of them are followers. They're following the new trends and stuff that's going on or whatever. Some people, a lot of people, when they talk certain, not necessarily just saying her, because I didn't really see nothing wrong with what she was saying. She was pointing something out that she sees, and we do see, like she said, we need to cut this gender war out. But a lot of people who come off like edgy, like a woman, and more like her masculine side, it's because the way that she came up, stuff that she's been through, the way men have treated her, the way she has seen men treat other people. So if I see it, I know that it's a healing process that needs to come. And either me as a man, I would be, if I'm going to deal with her, I know I have to be there to try to help be that man who can show her by example or whatever to try to help heal. At the end of the day, though, it will come to a point where she will have to, from the love she's getting from that man, she would have to look within herself and let her guard down to be able to accept that. Because it's just a difference, and you can't just say all through struggles and stuff like that. Some people are taught certain things because you have some women who went through all kind of struggles and all types of drama in their lives, and they might not be a fool and let nobody run over them, but it's like they still may believe in real love. They still may believe that there are some strong men out there, especially strong black men that still exist. So it's a different amount of femininity that's there. Like you as a woman, I don't know your whole story, but I know for a fact the little that I do know that you have went through some things. You have been a single mother, and you know what I'm saying. And it's like, but you still have a softness that's there. But you still had that. Oh, you ain't gonna just run over me now.
Right.
But it's still just as a woman the way you carry yourself. A lot of people don't carry themselves as women, and a lot of people don't carry themselves as men. Like hence everybody calling each other bro now. I hear women calling their mamas bro.
Yeah.
And stuff. So it's just a difference in the way, and a lot of the stuff that we watch, like those conversations and stuff like that, those are good and they're very interesting because it's what's going on in the world today.
Just entertaining.
But a lot of them, like I have children, multiple children that's in their 30s.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's like watching my children.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did have my children early. So like I said, I'm 49, I'll be 50 in October. So it's like my range of dating, I have dated women who are younger than me.
Okay.
But I've dated women who are older than me. I see a difference, but I've also have dated some women who were younger than me who were very responsible, and it's just a softness they still had about them, even though they still was like, I ain't for no games, I'm this, that, and other. They had a maturity that was there. That wasn't what, like how they call people, the YNs. But I've also dated some women who were like some old fools. But I've also dated some women who were mature. So it's about your maturity level. How do you view things? And as men, when we see a woman, no matter how they carry themselves, if we truly desire them, you have to look at it in a way, if you being real with it and serious, you have to look at it no matter if they have, if you feel like they act more masculine or if they have children or whatever, you have to, before you really deal with them, you have to look at these things. If you know they're a single mother, do you plan on coming into their life and taking some of that burden off of them?
Yeah.
Or do you can't plan on just being in the way?
Yeah.
And putting more pain and stuff on her?
Yeah.
Those are the things you have to look at. So if somebody feel like all the weight been on their back all this time, and it's like,
you just adding to it.
So it's like you have to know your job, your role, and come in, because every woman needs something different. But there are ways, because I know some women actually that's like, with me, they soft. You know what I'm saying? But with other people on the day-to-day, you would never know that. Because it's just like, this just how they are.
I don't think women should have to switch like that. You know what I'm saying? I think women should be able to be in a soft air all the time.
Yeah, some I don't think it's necessarily switching. Some might switch, but some is like, some people do have, like in this world, especially when you from certain cities, that they have this shell that's kind of over them with protection. But if you come correct and they look at you like as a leader, or you giving good knowledge and stuff, over time, that force field may dissolve a little bit for you, only for certain people. Because I know some people with some sharp tongues, and they don't never fix their mouth to talk to me like that. With me, that it's a whole different story.
But I, and this is just my opinion, I think that our men can help remedy that issue with women.
That's what I'm saying, because it's the way that I actually treat them and talk to them and deal with them.
Because none of my friends, none of my male friends, I've ever had to walk in a room and be tough. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never had to walk in a room and even think or assume that I had to take certain roles. Like, none of the men that are in my life at this moment have ever made me feel like I couldn't be in my soft, space with them.
And don't get me wrong now, neither, because I know I shared this to my page, and there might be a few people who might be like, well, you wasn't like that with me. It's true, because I'm not the same with everybody.
Yeah.
Some people may act so hard and so ghetto and stuff like that I might be like, I don't even have the tolerance to even deal with that.
Yeah.
So we cool, but I don't got time for
But
that.
even as a woman,
So it
if I
depends
see
on how
another woman
much
like
you
that, I don't
them.
have the tolerance to be around that kind of energy. If she starts popping off and stuff like that, inside, I'll be like, ooh, yeah, I
So we
won't be
kind of
back
pick
out with her.
kind of pick and choose. Is like sometimes you have to see something in somebody.
Yeah.
That's just like off the rip. I'm gonna use you as an example. Some men may be turned off by the fact that, like, if you say, well, I'm not having sex and I'm not doing this, or how long it may have been. To me, that's not a turn off for me or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But as a man, I would know, okay, that's the type of woman she is. So I look at all women as, okay, this is the type of woman she is. So I know if I ever try to cross those boundaries, you supposed to know what you getting into.
Yep.
So unless I know that's something I can handle, I would never cross that. You just a homegirl.
Yeah. Yep.
But if I know that's something, okay, I look at her in a way where I believe she deserves the best and this, that, and other, and I can be the man to do that, this, that, and other, whatever, then I would cross that. And that would be with anybody that I deal with. I look at, like, what is it, what they got going on. The same thing I was saying, that relationship I was in before. It ain't like we didn't discuss that. You should discuss certain things in the beginning. What are you looking for? What do you expect? Even though some things, as it evolves, certain things change, but you have to meet people where they are. Just like if somebody like, I'm a single mother, I have young children, I'm not bringing no strange guy. Like, I don't even want to meet your children unless I'm serious about you anyway.
I think for women, I hear women a lot say that they want a man, this type of man, they want that type of man. I challenge women to go get some help. Yeah. Go get some counseling, deal with those issues that you have so that you can get to a place where you can be a little softer. No man wants to battle with another man. You know what I'm saying? 24/7. And I'm saying that to say, no man wants to come home after he done fought out in this world and then come home and have to deal with another hard shell. So I think women, if we want a certain type of woman, we have to position ourselves for that type of man. And if you know that you went through some traumas in your life, if you went through some situations where you've had to fend for yourself, I think that you have to go and deal with the situations inside your heart and stuff like that, so that when the right man come, he's not having to sift through all of that, you know what I'm saying, to get to the real you.
Yeah, but and then I believe too, because I don't want nobody to get me wrong, some situations are like where people have real values, so they choose to be a certain way. Now you have other people though, who, if you just look on the surface, it may seem like they have values, but some people are delusional. It's like the way that
some people sound delusional.
Is delusional.
They said, girl, ain't nobody trying to, you 53 years old, ain't nobody trying to be in no relationship with you and ain't having sex.
No, I wouldn't say that's delusional. What I mean by delusional, like some people, it's like they want someone who's gonna give their all, but you're not willing to give your all. And when someone points, like, if we're in a relationship and we're good, like the way I see it, the way that I can't speak for you fully, but if I had to assume from what you have said to me and what you have said on the show, and how you carry yourself, that you just want a relationship with somebody who gonna come to you correct, who understands what's going on, who has God first in their life, and y'all can build, grow, get to know each other. Then it comes to that point where they feel like you're my person and you feel that that's your person, that y'all need to go to the next level. And the next level wouldn't be sex. The next level would be going to marriage counseling or something like that and then getting married. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, if you want somebody to do all of the work and you're not doing no work and not even work on yourself,
Then that's crazy.
and then it's like you expect to reap all the benefits and then not put no work in, then that's a problem. Some people just want somebody who's just the yes guy who's going to do whatever they want and this, that, and other. And to me, that's delusional. Now, if a guy's trying to, some of the guys are trying to spend their money and trick with somebody, then they might be like, I'm cool with the delusion because I'm paying for what I want and stuff like that. But I ain't trying to pay for nothing. I spend money on somebody, but I'm not trying to pay for nobody's love, for nobody's affection, nobody's time.
Yeah.
So we all have different values. I have values, and I value
I wish men
myself.
stopped doing that, like leading with their possessions, leading with their money, leading with their cars. And I know men get certain cars, you know, to stunt, you know what I'm saying, or get the attention of women. But then you can't get mad when a woman come to you and all she want is your money, because that's what you led with.
You're gonna get more from me if you don't carry yourself.
You
like
know,
that.
but I don't understand why men haven't caught on yet. Like, if you come in and you talking about all the stuff you got, all the money you got.
Some really don't want you anyway. Some really want some just want
play the
to
field.
hit, some want the arm candy. Some might be married and that's something to play with. So it's different reasons why people do what they do. Some people say they don't want the headache or whatever, but it's like me, I desire something real. You know what I'm saying? So
we too old.
a whole different
We on the back end of our life, Rico. We truly on the back end of our life.
You know we on deck, right?
You know what we doing here? Some of y'all sickly. Some of y'all got some illnesses in your life. You know, you're gonna get to a certain age, little young thing gonna be going on to the next little young thing, and you're gonna be over there by yourself.
Yeah.
Talking about,
people have to understand too. Everybody gets, like, in most cases, I can't say everybody. In most cases, people are gonna. Everybody's not gonna get the same version of you. Not to say that you're like a chameleon or nothing. But
I am.
But it's like certain people I can meet off rip and I kind of know, okay, if I deal with them, I'm going to take this serious. Certain people I know, okay, they probably just for fun. And I already kind of know if I cross there, I'm not going to go too far with you. Yeah. Like, I believe people, so like, everybody's not going to get the same treatment. For me, everybody's going to get respect and I'm going to treat them good or whatever. But everybody's not going to get, as you would say, the honor for me to honor and respect the situation to the level. But I'm going to be honest, though. If I ain't really rocking with you like that, I'm going to let you know. And I have been in situations, too, where I have told a woman, like, I'm not really, you know, we cool and this, that, and other, but I don't really want to cross these lines or whatever. If, you know what I'm saying?
I've had a man tell me that before.
But a lot of times they be like, well, you should let me still make the decision. I ain't got no choice. But in the beginning, you told me that you was looking for something real. And once we got to a certain point of I might have seen where there's some conflicts where I didn't really see it going there, I'll let a person know. But a lot of times people, I don't know if they feel like they could change your mind or something like that, so they still go with it. But then when it don't go their way in the end, they try to make you seem like a dog.
Well, I know for me, like, I told a young man that I was digging him, and he just pretty much was like, you know, I don't think, you know, I would ever be married, you know, and that's something that I feel like he knows about himself, you know. I think that sometimes rejection can definitely be God's protection, because a lot of times we're still looking on the outer purpitude of a person. You know, we're looking at them, but we don't know what's really on the inside of them. We don't know what's on the inside of their heart. And God can be protecting you from something unseen, you know what I'm saying, some unseen dangers. So when somebody rejects you, don't look at it like it's something wrong with you. Look at it as God is protecting you from something, you know, that's inside that person that they still need to be healed from. And he don't want you to revert back, you know what I'm saying, in a place where you have to be healed from. So I think that as we go forth and we just try to mend, and this is something that I really want to have many discussions on, as we go forth and we try to mend this war between who's right, the woman's right, the man's right, he should be doing this, she should be doing that. I think if we just get to a place where we can have, just a respectful conversation and we can kind of get to a place where we just respect each other just as black people, because we so far out here now, it's like we don't even like each other. And that's kind of, that's deep to me. So before we leave, a couple of things. You can always purchase your books. It's another book that I don't have it here on www.detroittabletalk.com. So purchase that in your spare time. Oh, I do, but it's in my purse. I have some new men's oil cologne that I have out. It is called Nice. Get that. I've had every young man that have brought it from me and smelt it have told me it is amazing. The Hungry Black Man, he doesn't really even wear, oils and stuff like that, but he smelt it. He was like, oh, I'm wearing this. So I appreciate that, endorsement. He was like, oh, you got to sell this at the next, festival or whatever. So get that. We do have the women's coming, but it's been a little hiccup. And it's on my part because I haven't made the time to go and smell the test versions of what, we've come up with. So I'm going to get around to it. But for right now, young men, it's only $10. It's called Nice. Please get it. And I just want to sum up what we were saying today, if possible. If we are looking to build relationship, and this is not just with relational relationships, but this is not just with significant others, but this is relationships that are across the board. We got to work on having effective communication. We have to work on trust and honesty, being open and honesty, honest and telling each other what we want, what we desire, and sticking to our Constitution, our foundation. We have to build healthy boundaries. We have to work on conflict resolution because, ladies, it's not going to always go your way. And you holding out sex or you know what I'm saying? We got to work on that. We have that bad. And I'm just talking to the women right now. You got to learn how to do conflict resolution. Sometimes no is a good thing. If that man tells you, he done just spent $300, $400, $500 on you last weekend. Now this weekend you coming and you want. And if he say no, we got bills to pay. No, we got some moves we got to make. No, we're trying to build this business. No, it's not a bad thing, okay? So we got to work on that. We got to work on our intimacy and our connection. And I'm not talking about in the bed. We have to work on just being intimate with each other, learning each other's hearts, so that when situations come up, you're not offended because you know that person's heart. Okay, then we got to grow and change. It's important that we hold each other accountable for things in our life, whether it's in the relationship or out of the relationship. And then we got to work on sharing some values and goals. I think that's extremely important, sharing values and goals. Just understanding each other's wants and needs and their boundaries. We also have to manage our eternal influences. We have to learn how to navigate our family, our children, our friends, and our society, how society look at us, or societal expectations. Just because society say that we should be doing it don't mean that we should. Society says a lot about what a woman should be doing, a lot about what a man should be doing. But we need to come to a common ground to find out what God say we should be doing. And then we have to work on long-term commitments. It's too many of us out here single. Too many. Rico, this is crazy to me. We all want the same thing, but ain't nobody got together yet. Ain't that crazy? I just think that's crazy. We all saying the same thing, but ain't nobody trying to get together. We all scared of commitment. We all think we going to, the other person going to take our money that we really don't even have. Now, if you working up there in the millions, then just get you a prenup. If the relationship don't work past 10 years, then she don't get nothing. I don't know. Or he don't get nothing. Because, some of you women need prenups too, but let's work on our long-term commitment. We got to cultivate our patience. We got to learn how to forgive. And we got to learn how to, most of all, appreciate each other. Appreciate what we bring to the table. And that's my spill on it. Rico, you got some last words?
Yeah. I don't really have much to say, but it's like people just got to be ready. People talk a lot, but they're not always ready.
Yeah.
Because I have had somebody before, like one of my last relationships that I was in. Because I take my time and kind of get to know people a little bit and see. But when you cross that line with them to really start dating, then you see more of really what's, you could find out sometime why somebody's single once you start dating them. For real.
Well, at least for you, because what is an irritant to you can be a blessing to somebody else.
Yeah, that too. But sometimes the pieces come together because you don't always take other people's word for certain things.
Yeah.
So when you hear certain things,
why are you single? Why you think you're single? What the women say the reason why you're single, not what you think, because it's totally different than what somebody else saying.
There's nothing that a woman has told me to say why I'm single, because I haven't been in a relationship where it's like somebody just dumped me. Like my situation that I've been in, because I know what I'm looking for, so I have made the choice to leave situations. So it's like, I would say at one point in my life that they may have been somebody, if I was to backtrack some years ago, there might have been like some insecurities and stuff that was going on with somebody. And it's like the lifestyle that we was living at that time, it might not have been totally healthy, because that was like I was like in a 3-way type of relationship or whatever, but that was something they were curious about. So it's like, but with that, sometimes it brings out other insecurities when they might feel like you into the other woman more than this woman or something like that. But I haven't been in any super messed up like relationships where somebody just like, I'm just leaving you or something like that. So it's like most of my stuff that I could think of has been by choice of me. You know what I'm saying? But I know what I'm looking for, especially like right now. I know what I'm looking for.
I don't think
Some people might say I'm choosy though and picky, but I don't see nothing.
You
wrong
are.
with
But you are. But I don't think I've ever heard a woman say to a man, see, that's why you single. But women, we hear it all the time. We can say the wrong thing, move wrong, and a man will say that quick. See, that's why you single now. That's why you're going to be single the rest of your life. I don't know if I've ever, I'm just going over my mind. I don't think I've ever been dumped. Yeah. And I don't know if that's a badge of honor or not. When I was in my 20s with my children's father, we would go back and forth, leaving each other, but not really leaving each other.
Yeah,
it was toxic.
A situation like that, but that was
it was
like,
toxic.
I was like in my 20s and stuff like that, like, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, I put like this too. I've been in a couple of relationships that it's like, it was love there, but it was also sometimes like people have like toxic things that sometimes they bring into the relationship, and that can become a problem. So like sometimes I didn't want to leave because if I love you and I care about you, I'd be like hoping that we can work through this. But sometimes it's like staying sometimes can bring more damage than good. So sometimes you have to.
I've ever had a guy say that. I think everybody that I have ever dated or even allowed to court me, they've always said, you know, man, you're gonna make a good wife. But there were certain things that I couldn't take. You know what I'm saying? I don't tolerate cheating.
Yeah.
I don't tolerate disrespect at all. And I feel like if you cross a certain line, even if I try to stay, it's something inside of me that just never get back to the place
That's
that we
another
were.
thing too, though. It's like,
So I walk out,
yeah,
you know,
and I
and
might,
then I be wanting some quietness. You know, I don't want to like babysit a grown person.
yeah, this might not make sense to some people though, but it's like, I think I said this to you before, and I think you was like, I don't know. I've been with a few women that I know for a fact though, just the way they carry themselves and certain stuff about them, they will make the perfect wife, but they might not make the perfect wife for me.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's certain things. So I would rather them be the perfect wife to somebody who's going to be the perfect husband to them. I don't want to hurt nobody. So sometimes it'd be certain things. It's like you just have to make that decision because I need a certain balance or whatever. So it might, I'm big on chemistry. So I have some people I've dealt with. It's like they may be like in most ways and stuff. I know just like could bring value to a person's life and all that. But if it's certain things that I feel is that click, if I don't feel it there, I don't really want to waste your time because it's like it's a certain type of chemistry that I look for, and if I don't feel,
is it
that
past the vibe
connection,
chemistry? Like we vibing, I
it's
can
just
dig you.
It's just a natural chemistry, but it also, it's like I would never.
But can that mislead you?
No, not time. I'm talking about I need a balance. That's like, for example,
Okay.
say if somebody has the bomb sex, but when it comes to having great conversation and working together, that's not gonna work for me. If it comes to we could build all kind of businesses together and got all the money in the world, but our sexual chemistry is not there. That's not gonna work for me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, why not? You don't think you would be able to teach her what you need? Because
it's
every
not
man
about
is different.
teaching.
What the way I had John swinging off the chandeliers, the things I did to him, Joe, you know what I'm saying, be like, wait a minute now, you know, it may throw him off because he'd be like, who you done been with, where you learn that from? And you know, he can't get past where I'm learning this stuff at.
But I guess this is a better way to explain
me.
Because it's not even it's a feeling. It's not even just sex. It's a feeling.
I gotta use the bathroom.
It's a feeling. I'll say this real quick then. It's a feeling. Like, say if it's somebody who look good to you, they got money, everything, but it's like when they touch you, it's something.
Like, ew.
Yeah, so it's like, you know, that's just one of the examples. Not saying nobody just touching like.
Oh yeah, that was that.
Like,
No, that was this one guy at my church before.
I
was like, why are you touching me?
Not right for you. So anytime you're in a situation
you
feeling like you do better or something that your heart really wants, feel like it's still searching, then that's not the right thing for you.
I'm glad you said that because I experienced that one time. This dude was head over heels for me. Yeah. Oh, and my pastors thought he was gonna be it.
And part of the sexual
and I
chemistry
didn't like
is
it.
not just for
we never
me.
had sex. We never kissed. We never.
Part of it is making sure that they're pleased too. So I need to feel that I'm pleasing
I don't want to
you, but I gotta
man.
like you enough. I gotta love you enough to, you know what I'm saying? You put something different in it when y'all just connect like that on all levels, no matter if it's sexual, no matter if it's trying to build together to accomplish something, to get y'all home together, take care of children together, whatever it might be, you're gonna put more effort in if you have that balance and that natural connection that's just there. Some stuff is like a puzzle. The pieces look like they fit, but I shouldn't have to force nothing.
I don't like anybody that I have to babysit.
Yeah.
If you don't have self-motivation, if you like overbearing, I don't know, it just automatically shuts down inside of me. Like every hour, every other hour, what you doing? What you doing? What you doing? Sometimes I'd be looking at the phone like, I'm not finna answer that. Like, don't you got something you want
or
you got to be doing?
I had somebody, they covered all the board and it was good. I thought I was gonna marry them, but they had temper tantrums.
That couldn't have been worked on?
Hell no. I tried. You too old for that. You have temper tantrums. Like, That could escalate. You get talking crazy, that's too much. I like peace. I'm a peaceful person.
Now, see, I have to think about something that I stop myself from getting into relationships. Yeah, because something I'd be like, I can look at somebody and then I could be like, yeah. In my mind, I'm saying, I don't know if I'll be able to deal with that for a long.
You going through something like, say you lose somebody pass, and it's like, well, I know you grieving, but I need you too.
Yep.
But whatever going on in your life, it ain't even fucking that. I mean, that serious. It's like what? Like so because like you if you supposed to be comforting me in my time of grieving, but you talking about I know you grieve, but nah, that ain't cool.
We out of here, Rico. We just been talking. We well past our time. This was a good conversation. You know, but we will be revisiting this conversation because we want relationships to mend. We want us to be as one. We want to walk in unity. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we got to be together and go together. But I am for building relationships. I just love people. I don't know, Rico, do you love people?
I don't love everybody.
Now see, I love people, and I'm always going to try to find a way to make stuff better, to make sure that, the puzzle pieces are connecting. So that's me. We will see you back at the table next weekend. So don't forget, on the 6th, September the 6th, we'll be at Belle Isle praying. And then on the ending part of the year, we're going to have brunch. We're going to have brunch. So follow the page, and I will put the flyers up on the page. So come out to the event so that we can all be like a happy family. And hopefully you will begin to see my buddy Wayne at the table from time to time. We will see you later. Bye.